Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, MG3D. Today we will be taking a 3D model from Blender 3.1 into Substance Painter for texturing. We'll be using Vertex painting in Blender to paint our model at the Vertex level. We will then be using the Vertex paint data on our model in Substance Painter to create a color ID map, which we will then use as a mask to texture our model. We will touch on UDIM workflow and some basic texturing techniques in Substance Painter as well. So by the end of this video, you should be able to Vertex paint a model in Blender, export an FBX with UDIMs into Substance Painter. You'll be able to do some basic surfacing in Substance Painter and then export your textures back into Blender and apply them to your model. Okay, so what is Vertex painting? According to blender.org, Vertex painting is a simple way of painting color onto an object by directly manipulating the color of vertices rather than textures. Vertex painting stores the color information as a color attribute, which can be used by different render engines. So basically, you're just telling the vertex what color it is and it's storing that information. In this case, I'm not using the Vertex painting to paint my model. I'm using it to simply inform Substance Painter what data to use in order to generate the color ID map that I'm then going to use to texture my model more efficiently. Okay, so here we are in Blender. I'm in object mode with the model. Here I was seeing if I could grab two pieces of the model, switch to edit mode, and then go to Vertex mode and color both of them at the same time, which I was unable to do, which seemed odd to me. But anyway, so I click back to object mode, select the viewfinder of the camera, click into edit mode, then into Vertex mode, Shift K to fill the object or the vertex of the object with the selected color. And then I just repeat for each part of the model going forward, and I will fast forward through that. Okay, on to UDIMs. So here we are back in Blender. Here we have our model of the camera. I am going to switch over to UV editing mode. Next, so as you see, I've already set this up as a 6-tile UV grid. The way I did that was by hitting this View tab. First tabbed into Edit mode, hit A. Once I hit A, all of my UVs populate these tiles that I've created over here. The way I've created these tiles, so once you're in editing mode and you have an object or part of your model selected, you'll see under the View tab here, you'll see UDIM grid. Drop down, hit the drop down. You can change the grid size and shape. You can make it whatever you want, basically 5 by 5, 10 by 10, doesn't matter. In this case, we're doing 2 by 3 because that's all I need. So that's it. There's our UVs, and in order to arrange these, basically you can grab this drag select the parts of your model you want to move and arrange. You can either hit that button or G to move, and I have proportional editing clicked, so that's why that moved all that. You don't want that on. So now I can arrange my UVs. It looks like this island down here, or this tile, has some overlapping UVs. In that case, I would just go UV pack islands. I like to add a little 0.01 spacing so I get no weird little overlap seams in Substance Painter. Scale this down just a little bit because I've gotten warnings where some of the UVs are going over the edge of the tile, and I just don't want to get that. But for this is plenty good. I'm not doing a real great job at unwrapping this model. This is more just to show you how to make the UV grid, and then we're going to export this model in a second and get it out to Substance Painter. So once again, once you're in edit mode, which we're in now, model selected, you will see all of your parts unwrapped. What you want to do is click this View tab right here in your UV workspace. Click the drop down for UDIM grid. Sorry. Type in your grid, and there you have it. That is how you get your UDIM grid set up. In order to export this model, I'm just gonna get back into modeling mode and make sure I have my whole model selected. Also, one other thing, I want to make sure that I only have one material on this model, and as you can see, I have this camera material on here. I only want one material because that's all I want in the texture space in Substance Painter. I have this one material with all the UDIMs, and then I can texture it with the color ID map, and the UDIMs will handle all of the UVs for this model. So yeah, that's just a little, you just want one. Looks like I have looks like I have I want to get that in there. So now it's all one material. Okay, so once I have all that handled, select everything, go File, Export, Export FBX, click on Selected Objects, Mesh, Normals Only, Armature. I just deselect any animation stuff. If there's none in there, I just, by habit, select that. So I'm going to export this as Polaroid temp since I already exported it earlier, and there we go. So that model is exported, and now we're going to bring it into Substance Painter and bake the color ID map and the rest of the maps and get to texturing it. Okay, let's start this from the beginning. So here's what we are going to do. I'm going to get rid of this and start from scratch by going to File, New. I'm going to select my Polaroid FBX model and hit Open. I'm going to change the document resolution or texture resolution to 2048. And I hit the UV tile workflow right here. Preserve UV tile layout per material and enable painting across tiles. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. Not feeling great, but I want to get through this. So I've got my document resolution set up, UV tile clicked. I'm going to click OK. Let's discard this. And here's our model. So first thing we have to do is bake our mesh maps. So go under Mode, Mesh Maps, click that. Most important one here, well, they're all important, but this is for the color ID workflow from Blender. This ID map down here is what you want to click. Under Source Color, you want to go to Material Color and then select Vertex Color. We have our one material here with our 6 UV tiles, and now we can bake selected textures. There's the color ID map, ambient occlusion, all the other maps are getting baked right now. Once that's done, we want to return to painting mode. So there we have it. Up here is a little tab, your hopefully familiar with Substance already, because this isn't a tutorial on Substance Painter. But I'm going to click into the Smart Material tab. I'm just going to search plastic, and let's select this gloss plastic. So as you can see, that filled the entire model, and that's not what we want. What we have to do is come over to layers, click on our plastic glossy scuffed layer, click on the mask button, and hit add mask with color selection. Now that material is masked off. You go down to pick color, this little eyedropper icon down here, and we're gonna come over here and select part of the model. Boom, and there we go. We have our black plastic on our camera. So I want more of the camera black, so I'm going to go back to this little color picker over here, and I'm going to pick the blue part of the color ID map. So now the whole camera back, oh look at that, is black, and that's what we want. So now I'm just going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to make the button red. I want to grab plastic matte, which is the red. I don't know why my icons are not showing up here. Add mask with color selection, pick color, pick my button, and now we have a red button. Let's see, I'm going to just drop this into the lens. Again, add mask with color selection, select that. For the glass visor, I'm going to grab the base material here. You see the base color, and just drag that down so my lens isn't blue. I just want that kind of reflective for this. It's pretty down and dirty texturing, so just moving fast through this so you can see how it's done. I'm going to grab the plastic dirty here and throw it on the front of the camera. Add mask with color selection. There we go. Plastic thermal. I'm going to add mask with color selection and make that black, a little different. For the lens, excuse me, lens hood, let's just go, let's do, you know what, let's just do the same thing. So we'll stay on that and just click there. Now we have that. Let's make this little stripe blue, so drag that on there, add mask with color selection. There we have that, and let's make this orange, and again just add mask with color selection, and there we go, everything but the photo. I'm just going to grab plastic dirty and drop it on there, add mask with color selection, pick color, and there we go. So I want a photo in this area right here, so what I'm going to do is add a paint layer right here. I'm going to see if I can find these assets. There's one. There we go. So I've imported a couple of 2048 textures into Substance Painter. The way I did that was by hitting this little plus down here and clicking Add Resources, finding my camera alpha and my camera photo, and hitting Open. In this case, I'm just going to do one and show you. You need to click this Undefined tab. This is going to be an albedo, so you would pick texture. If it was an alpha, you want to pick alpha there, and then what you do is come under here, select import your resources to, sorry about the whistle, to your assets, and hit import. I'm not going to do that because I already did that, but that's the gist of it. So now I am in the kind of the texture mode of this little window here, and I'm going to drop my base color as the photo into the base color. So Now I need to add the alpha. Here's a little space for alpha. If you scroll up, drop your alpha in there, and let's resize the brush. See how that looks. Now that's pretty good. And I'm just gonna, boom, there we go. We can grab the eraser and just, this is pretty rough, but I'm just gonna do this to clean this up a tiny bit. Boom, and there you have it, a photo on the photo of the thing that took the photo. So photos are kind of glossy, so I would probably come down here in the plastic dirty, which I filled the photo with, and grab the base material and just what am I doing? Not the height, roughness, sorry. Just adjust the roughness a little bit to make it kind of more like a glossy photo. Yeah, that's fine. And there you have it. That's how you go about using a color ID map to texture a model in Substance Painter. I hope that helps. I hope you're able to go through this video and use this. It made my life real easy. As doing previs for Disney, you're banging out models like 10 a day, maybe more, and I always wanted to do, you know, a nice job texturing, but I didn't want to end up with a lot of textures, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time. So this workflow allowed me to get decent textures on models very efficiently, very fast for the production style environment I was working in, and the results are great. And I'm able to do this on any model across the board. So anyway, I hope this helps. Now what we're going to do is wait a minute, I forgot one thing. I see, let's do a little blue stripe, even though we already have blue. I'm just gonna color this little detail real quick. So I didn't really need to add a new texture. I could have just grabbed the color, the mask, and picked the color to add the blue to that stripe. But anyway, so now what we're going to do is export these textures and quickly plug them into Blender. So here we go. Go to File, Export Textures. You're going to see your camera material. You're going to see all of your output maps and all of your tiles. Now it's going to export a lot of textures. I mean, it's going to export 6 per tile. But you'll see in Blender, it's pretty cool. You can, the way it populates the textures into the model, you don't have to deal, as long as your naming's correct, you don't have to deal with all the textures. You can also output them at different sizes. Like for the button, if I was really going to take my time on this, which I'm not, I could output a tiny little texture for the button or for this orange patch. But in this case, I'm just going to export all of these because I can, and I just want to quickly show you how these plug back in. So let's go to global settings. Let's pick where we want to put this. I'm just going to, whoops, I'm just going to plug them into, you know what? This is annoying. I'm just going to drop them in here real quick because I'm going to throw these out when I'm done. There we go. Grab this, select folder. You can change the size of your textures. For this purpose, I'm just going to leave them at what they are based on each texture set size. So that's what that's going to be. You can change the bits if you want. I'm going to leave these at 8-bit. You can change the file type. I'm going to leave these at PNG. And I'm going to hit export. And there we go. It just exported all those textures. Now I'm going to go back to Blender. Here we are. I'm going to hit into the shading tab. Looks like, all right, looks like I'll just start fresh here because I did texture this earlier. So here we have the base material for this camera, which is the entire camera. Every object is consists of that base material called camera. So now what I want to do is add a image texture. I'm going to hit open here. I'm going to go to my desktop, temp. Here we go. See, you see your base colors, textures 1 through 22. So click on the first one and hit open. Now magically, when you plug this in, whoops, look at that, the UVs are messed up. That's very weird. Oh. Well, let's just do this. I'm going to import this back in. There we go. So now let's really start from scratch. Let's select this camera. There's the texture right there. I'm going to add a texture, image texture. Go to my desktop to find the temp files. Polaroid camera base color 101, open image, and then when I plug this in, this should work because this should have the right UVs. There we go. Okay, so that worked. So there is the camera, pretty fully textured. It doesn't have the metallic or roughness or any of that stuff, but I'm going to add another image texture. You can also add image texture by hitting Shift A and whatever you like to do. I don't mind clicking around. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'll go here. I'm going to do the roughness right now. So plug in the roughness, and now we have roughness. Pretty cool, pretty easy. Okay, in order to add the normal map, go to add. I just search normal, get the normal map node, drag this right here. I've already copied this image texture, pasted it, and now I'll grab normal 101, click open image. You want to set this to non-color for your normal, or it's going to look weird. Plug your color to your color and your normal into your normal, and there you have it, some normal map going on there. You can change the strength of it. I usually end up going 0.5 or below 1. Seems to work for me, but whatever the model calls for, whatever looks best in any particular case. It's hard to say what it's going to look like from case to case, depending on the normal map itself, when I can anyway. So there you have it. That is the whole enchilada from Blender to Substance and back to Blender again, using the color ID map, Vertex, painting, and UDIM workflow. All right, I hope you like this. Let me know if you have any questions, and any suggestions for other videos are totally welcome. I'm just getting going at figuring out how to make these tutorials, and I'm doing them from the point of view of working in kind of a pretty fast-paced 3D feature 3D production pipeline on the previs side, and some non-previs, some final modeling and stuff. I'll get into some of that later, but this is really kind of down and dirty previs modeling, or if you're working on one of your own stories or just practicing, this is a great way to quickly get results texturing, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, take care.